Hello everyone, I'm Somnath Satav and today I'm going to demonstrate the DevOps strategy done using the VSTS and the Microsoft Azure. I'm also going to demonstrate the few of the nice feature of the Visual Studio Team services, that is Gets, the pipeline, then the approval workflow, as well as the monitoring services, that is Application Insight, and the Azure performance load test. So let's get started. So you can see this is the application I developed, that is my own blog, and that is developed using the ASP.NET MVC and HTML5 and CSS3. So this is totally a responsive uh, application. So you can see that this works in almost all the mobile browsers. So that is about what I developed, but that's for the sample purpose. The main agenda is to demonstrate the DevOps strategy. So let's move to the my repository. So this is the my Visual Studio account, and this is my repository. You can see there are two different projects. The first one is the core app. So under that you can find the Somnath's blog application. So now let's go to the Visual Studio where I have cloned this repository, and you can see this is the blog application which I developed. So now let's see how the continuous integration and continuous delivery works. So let's modify something here and we'll see how it works. So probably we can modify the title. So instead of Somnath's blog, let's say it as Sam's blog. Let's save it. Now let's go to the changes. You can see this change. Let's compare it to make sure that something else is not modified. Then now let's provide some comment. Let's say change the title, and let's commit this. So you can see that under this repository there are three different branches. The dev, the purpose of dev is all the development can integrate their code to this branch. The master is the parent one, and the release branch is will sync up with your production code, and the pre-prod and production. So I've checked in the source to the dev branch, and this is a git flow. So I have to sync it to check in this code to the server. So let's push this change. So now this change got pushed to the server. Then let's go to the Visual Studio account, and let's go to the build and release section, and let me go to the build definitions. And now there should be one build which is invoked under the dev Somnath block CI build definition. So build got started. Let's open the build and we'll see the status. So build is in progress. So till the time build gets finished, so I'll talk about the release pipeline. So for that, let's go to the releases. So let me modify one of the release. So you can see that there are two build definitions I have created. So one is for dev and one is for pre-prod. So basically I have four different environments. So dev, test, the pre-prod and the prod. So I've created two different build definitions. For one of the is for the dev and test, and the another one is for pre-prod and prod environment. So similarly I have created two different releases, one of the for dev and test and another one is for pre-prod and prod. So reason being having this pipeline is, let's say to deliver some of the hot fixes, so it should not be we should not be wait, and we should not be going through the uh, dev and test. So sometimes you have to provide it very fast. So for that purpose I've kept it as a different build definition as well as a release definition, where a developer can create the hotfix branch or any feature branch, and they can commit it directly to the pre-prod and prod. There might be there is a one reason behind that. Let's say there are 10 developers in your team. Out of 10, 9 are working on some of the enhancement and some of the features, whereas one of the guys working on a hotfix. So they should not disturb the dev branch, and we don't want to push all the other features with the hotfix. So that's the purpose I kept this pipeline. So let's go to the releases, try to edit one of the release, and let's see how the pipeline is defined. So this is the dev environment and this is the test environment. So as soon as code goes to the dev, so you will get a notification that this has been success. So now developer can test their changes, and then there is, as soon as the build goes to the dev, so once developer confirms their changes, then the notification will go to the approval who has to approve it for push the changes to the test. So we'll see in the demo. So now let's go back to our build and we'll see where we are. It's still in the progress. So we'll wait till the build get finished. It will take few more minutes. So as soon as the build get finished, then it will drop that artifact to the location, and as soon as it drop it to a particular location, then the continuous delivery will start. As we have checked in the code into the dev branch, I have configured this particular release to invoke as soon as it got the new artifacts on the particular drop location, and then the build will start automatically to the dev branch, and you will get a notification once the build goes to the your dev environment. And then you will get another email for the whoever the approval is. So let's say I have configured the another user who will approve this push to the test branch, so it will not automatically will go to the test environment. Before that there is an approval phase, so we'll see that. So build got succeed. Yeah, so now there must be a release in a pipeline. Yeah, you can see that release 16. So it's working on a develop branch. So let's open it, we'll see the log. So let's go to the log section and we can see the progress. So you can see the pre-deployment approval, it's automatic because I have not configured it to somebody to approve it. So it will take some time to push the changes to dev. So now as the build got succeed, so I've set up few of the notifications. So there must be some email saying that the build got succeed. So let me go to my Gmail account. I'll refresh it. We'll we'll see if there is any notification from Visual Studio Online. It takes some time to get the notification. We'll see that later. So it's just a notification saying that your build got succeed. Yep, so the changes has been pushed to the dev environment. So this is my dev environment, and let's refresh it. So we have changed the title from Somna's blog to Sam's blog. So let's see whether it reflects or not. Yeah, so you can see in the header it got changed. So that's about the continuous integration and the continuous delivery. So let's go to the Azure portal. So you can see here these are the resources I've created. So one of them is the Dev Somnath blog. This is the resource type of app service, Azure app service. So this is basically to host the application. So similarly I've created for each environment. So now let's move on to our Visual Studio, and we'll do one thing that is very important, is integrating your unit test project into your build as well as in your continuous delivery. So let's go to the test project and let's modify one of the tests. I already have one test. So this is the test which will fail. So let's check in this and we'll see how the build behaves when there are some of the test cases which is not working properly. So for that we need to let's sync it and push this change to server. So as soon as you push, there will be a new build on the dev CI. So it's in progress. So let's open it and we'll see the status. So you can see there is one of the phase in the build, that is test assemblies. Let's try to find out all the test DLLs and it's run the test using the Visual Studio test. So we'll wait till the build get finished. So now you can see that the build got failed. The reason being there are one of the test case was incorrect. So you can get all the details here, which was the test case and why it got failed. So that's about integrating your test project in the continuous integration. So now let's move to the release pipeline, where we wanted to push the changes to test. You can see here the earlier release, and now it was waiting for the approval. So let's go to my Gmail account, and now you can see that I got the notification for the build failure, as well as I got the notification to approve the earlier build on a test. So let's open this email. Let's go to the view approval. Let's click on the view approval, and then so this is to push the earlier changes on a test environment. For dev it's automatic, but for test I've made it as the approval flow. So without any approval it will not directly go to the test environment. So let's say the code, the changes looks good and I'm approving it. So as soon as you approve, then the continuous delivery will start and will push this build to the test environment. So let's go back to the another VSTS account where I logged in with the another user. Just refresh it, and you can see that now the build is in progress. So till the build goes to the test environment, we'll see how we can push these changes to the our pre-prod environment. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a different build definition and different release definition for pushing code to pre-prod and the prod. So how to invoke and build to this pre-prod CI? So for that, let's click on the code section and let's create a pull request. So now you have done the changes on dev environment and you push it to test. Tester has done some testing and it looks good. Now it's time to push it on the pre-prod. So what you have to do is just create a pull request to merge your code from dev branch to any release branch. As I mentioned earlier, is a branch which has the production and pre-prod code. So let's say what we did. So we change the title and you can have some reviewer here. So create the pull request. Now the reviewer has to review the pull request and accept it. So there must be a notification here. So let's wait till we get the notification. So this is the approval, so this user should get an so you got the pull request review. Let's open it and let's approve it. Let's click on the complete. So as soon as you complete, the code will merge from dev branch to your release branch. Now let's go to the another account, go to the build and release section, and there must be a build in a queue as we have merged the code from dev to release branch, and this build definition is working on the release branch. So there must be a build in progress. So you can see that there is a build in progress. So as soon as build gets succeed, it will drop the artifacts to a particular location, and then our release, that is a continuous delay, will start and will push our code changes to the pre-prod environment. One thing I done here is we have integrated the test case process in the build definition. So there is a nice way in a VSTS where you can integrate same in the continuous delivery. So I have done that for the one of the environment. So that is for dev. So you can see here VSTS. So before pushing your code to the dev environment, it will execute the test cases, and if it get fail, then it will not push your changes to the dev environment. So this step is there in the build definition for all the builds, but this is I've added in the continuous delivery definition as well to just to showcase. Go back to the releases and we'll see where are we with the sorry yeah, so it's still in progress. So let's wait till the build get finished. Okay, so we can see that the pre-prod build got succeed. Now it has created the artifact and there must be a new release in the releases. So let's go to the releases and we'll see under the pre-prod release definition there must be a new release. Yeah, so there is a release. However, you can see there is an timer icon, so that is pending for the approval. So I'll set few approvals here. So let me go to my Gmail account and you can see there is a notification. So let's view the approval and we'll accept it. So as soon as you accept, then the continuous delivery will resume and we'll push the changes to our pre-prod. So you can see here, so let me approve it, let me put some comments. It look good, approve it. So now it's in queue and let's go to the, let me refresh. Yeah, so now it is in progress. Let's open it, we'll see the log. So now it will take few minutes to deploy the changes to pre-prod environments. So before it's deployed, let's go to our pre-prod environment. Meanwhile, we can test whether the changes are got pushed to the test environment. So we change the title. So probably parallelly we can open the pre-prod environment. Yeah, so there you can see the title got changed, but it should not be on the pre-prod because we just started pushing the changes. There is a possibility that the pre-prod environment will not be available. Oh, it's available. There is one step where I am stopping the IS, but I think that is still the CD is still in progress. So you can see it's a Somnath block. Let's move to the, you'll see the status here. So it's still in progress. So let's wait for a few minutes and then we'll see whether the changes are there on the pre-prod environment. So, and then we'll push the changes to a prod. So there is a slightly difference while pushing the changes on a prod. So it's not an automatic way to push the code to pre-prod. There is a no approval way. We have to manually push our changes to prod environment. So you can see on the screen, you can see there is a deploy option. So once you click on the deploy option, then there is again an approval process where the notification will get sent to the approver. Then he has to review and approve. Once he approve, then the continuous delivery will start. And there is a nice feature of VSTS, that is the gates. So I have configured the one of the gate. The purpose of the gate is, so it will fetch the, it will run the query on my all the work items and we'll see whether there is any defect. So let's say there are few defects still in open state or in progress state, then it will not it will not push the changes to a prod. So that's the purpose of that's the one of the example of a gets. There are many different use cases where you can use a get. I use that to check whether there is an open bug in the current sprint. If it's yes, then it will not push or changes to a prod environment. So now we can see it got succeed on a pre-prod. So let's refresh it and we'll see whether there is a change. So we'll close the test and dev. Yeah, so you can see the change got reflect. So now let's push the changes to pre-prod. Sorry, let's push the changes to a prod. So as I mentioned, there is a approval workflow. There must be some email notification. Oh, so there are the notifications for the deployment success, but as I mentioned, production I kept it as a manual, so we have to click a deploy before it sends a notification. Now it will send a notification. Now you can see it's waiting for the approval. So now let's go to the my different account, Gmail account, and we'll wait for the notification. Yeah, so let's open this. We'll approve it. So let's approve, say changes looks good, approve it. So now it will start the continuous delivery to production. So quickly open the production website and you can see that the title is still Somnath's blog because the changes are in progress. So let's go to the releases. Then must be in this one, logs, it's pre-prod. It's saying not deploy, waiting for evaluation. That means it's got started. Yep. Now as I mentioned, so I've set up the gates. So now what it is trying to do is it's trying to run the query work item query and we'll see whether there is any open issue. So for that we'll go to the work section and let's go to the backlog and current sprint and we'll see there is any open bug. No, there is no any open bug. So I have a one bug which is in closest. Let's quickly make it new, save close, and let's say make it okay, I'll keep it as a new state and we'll see how the gates now behaves. So we'll wait for a few minutes. So let's wait till the get run the query item query, and I've set up some threshold values. If there is no bugs, then only it will proceed further, otherwise the continuous relay will get fail. So as I modified the bug from state close to open, I think now it should get fail. And then there are some settings where it will keep continuing the evaluating the states of a gate, and you can see this is the timeout fail gate where I kept it is for 1 hour. So after 1 hour it will stop evaluating the gates, and the next I keep the 1 minute uh, interval so that it will start evaluating the gates after 1 minute. Let's say first time it evaluates, there are open issues, and it will stop. It will stop, and then again it will resume after 1 minute, and it will keep this till the it gets timeout. So I kept it for 1 hour. So there are other use cases of gates. One of them is the signing off process. So before going on a production, uh, some product owner needs to sign it off. So we can use the gates. So let's say there is a manual process where somebody is signing it off. So we can have an Azure function or API, and we can configure it in a gates, which will invoke and will see whether there is any document, signed document is there. If not, then it will wait till 1 day or 1 hour or whatever time threshold or the interval you set, and it will keep evaluating the gates. So once he get the sign off, then only it will push the code to production. So that's a good example. So it's still evaluating here. Now after an I kept it as for 1 hour, so build will get fail after 1 hour. So probably we can do one thing. Now let's go again to the work items and let's close this bug. Let's say done. Now probably, yeah, you can see that you can download all the logs. You can see the log, the OK result. Then for the it got failed. The next time it evaluates. Last updated time just now, next update time in 4 minutes, as I kept the 5 minutes of interval. So I think we should not wait till this evaluating process get finished. So that's how the gates are configured. Now it will, once it succeed, it will push the changes to our production. So that's how the overall continuous integration and continuous release setup. So now let's move to the some of the another services which I use. One of them is an application insight. So for that, let's go to our Azure portal, and I've configured for all the environments, but that's not in good practice. We should set up it for the pre-prod and the prod. And let's go to the uh, production application insight setup. So application insights is an monitoring tool where you can see the performance of your server as well as your application. There are live metrics streaming also there, so you can see actually how many users are live, what they are doing, how your server is performing. So for that you have to do some changes, code changes in your application to make the application inside working. And then there are few alerts you can set, availability alerts, or something is went wrong, then you should get a notification. There is an smart detection setting is also there. You can actually set up few of the alerts. I have set up for the for few of the failure anomalies. So in that case I'll receive an notification saying that the performance of system is too low, or something is went wrong, or there are too much exceptions occurring. So this is the purpose of application insights. So now let's move to the next point which I wanted to demonstrate is the load testing. So for that, let's go to the all resources I have. Probably we'll open the pre-prod, or maybe we can open the dev and go to the tools section. You can see the performance test. So I have ran few load tests. So you can say one of them is aborted and the another one is completed. So using this new button you can actually create, you can set the user led, how many users, concurrent users you want, for how many durations you wanted to run the test. So you will see the result of the earlier one. So you can actually see the request, then the successful request, or is there any failed request, and then you can see actual the performance load, where you can see the average respective time as well as the user load and the request response. So that is about the load test, and that's all from the demonstration perspective, and thank you so much.